Welcome back to my channel, everyone. So today I have this bright spring look for you guys using some colors that I don't usually use. And this is a full face tutorial, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to use is this hydrating night cream from Derma E all over my face just to make sure my face is super moisturized and ready for foundation and nothing will be flaky when I contour because my skin has been really dry lately, which is weird because I'm an oily skin. Now I'm just applying some redness reducing drops just to make sure that my eye makeup is super bright and my eyes don't look red. Now I'm taking the Browsings from Benefit in Light, and this is the old packaging, and I am just defining my brows. I'm kind of replaying with wax and some products that I've left behind because now my brows have actually been growing back in, which is amazing for me. So I'm just defining them with the wax, kind of using my finger to blend out my mistakes, and I spoolie through them to keep them from getting chunky. Now I'm just using the powder that comes with this to fill in my sparse spots, which are kind of near the arches of my brow, so I have to fill them in pretty thick. Now I'm using the Maybelline Brow Drama in soft brown to just set everything, and this really locks in my arch, and it's a really easy thing to use. So now I'm using Air Patrol from Benefit, and I'm just going to put that on my eyes as my base. And for my base color, I'm using White Peach from the Sweet Peach palette by Too Faced, and with a fluffy brush, I'm just blending that all over my lid. Now taking the color Summer Yum, I'm just going to take that on a e.l.f. contour brush for the eyes. I'm going to lightly buff this into my crease just to make my eyes look a little bit more deep set and give me a deep crease. I'm using a really light hand with this, and I'm kind of blending in circles and swiping motions to make sure there's no harsh edges and none of this gets on the lid. Now taking the Primal Colors from NYX, this is the Hot Yellow Pigment and a sponge tip kind of applicator. I'm just going to pack that on my lid. I used 3 coats to get the bright yellow that I wanted. And I did this all over the lid, starting with the inner corner and working outward. Using Charmed, I'm Sure from the Peach palette, I am just blending that into my outer V and into my crease to add a little bit of depth and definition with a duo fiber brush. And using my NYX liquid liner, I'm just applying a thin line. I don't want it to overpower the yellow. And to touch up where the liner is and make my yellow even brighter, I just apply another coat of the pigment on top of the yellow. Using the Milk Makeup Urbane, I'm not sure how to say it, mascara, I am just going to apply this to my lashes to wake my eyes up even more. And now using the Porefessional, I'm going to apply this just to the center of my face where my pores are the biggest. I have some cystic acne starting near my ears, so I don't want to aggravate that with any primers. So I am going to avoid those areas and just focus on the needed area. Under my eyes, I'm using this Balance Me Tinted Under Eye Cream as a primer for my concealer and foundation. And I'm using my matte and poreless foundation from Maybelline. This is my absolute favorite. And using the F80 brush from Sigma, I'm just going to blend this all over my face so that it is nice and full coverage. I was running out, so I didn't have as much foundation as I wanted, so it's a little bit less full coverage than I liked. But yeah, I made do. So I'm just buffing this all over my face until there is no more streaks. And I find that if I kind of pull my hairline back a little bit, I get rid of the creases that are naturally in my forehead, but not hard enough that it like hurts or anything like that or disturbs any of the product. And today I'm trying some new makeup techniques so we can all explore together. First, I'm using my Fit Me concealer, and I'm just going to take that down my nose and in between my brows. I did have a reference picture, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at that, and I am just defining my brows with this concealer as well. And I'm going on top of my brow to clean up the arch, and just blending that with the doe foot tip just to kind of spread everything out. This was something I actually found on Pinterest and was interested to see how it applied to me. So I'm just blending everything out with my Real Technique sponge using the pointy end so I get like really precise lines and blending around areas like my brows and stuff where one slip of the hand could ruin the entire look. I don't know how many times I have done that before. So I'm just blending this all out really nicely until it is seamless, and I think it actually looked really good. Now using my NYX highlighting and contour duo, I am just going to highlight the way the picture showed, and it showed kind of like almost like a Wi-Fi symbol on your head and going down your nose and defining underneath the contour areas with this. I don't have powder to bake with, so this is something that I really like doing with liquid highlight that I never thought of doing before, especially since one of my insecurities is how round my face is, and I think this really slimmed me out. I'm just going under the eyes with this as well, creating that sort of V shape, and actually created like a U that went all the way from one eye under the nose to another, and I found this to be much more brightening than the traditional V shape that people do with concealer. So it might be something to look into if you're someone who has dark circles like I do. And I am just going to blend this all out with my Real Technique sponge. And I should mention I have two of the same sponge. So for the concealer and highlight, I am using one sponge, and for the contour and darker shades, I'm using a different sponge so that I'm not cross-contaminating or messing up my highlight by getting little brown marks or vice versa. I want to keep my contour really dark and my highlight really light. Now I'm just popping a little bit of this liquid highlight under my brows and blending it with my fingers just to make sure it doesn't get really messy, because I was really afraid that the sponge would just mess up my eye makeup. But I thought this was a really nice highlight, and I've never used this product in this area before, but I'm definitely going to start using it under my brows. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on the arches as well to make them look more defined. And now we contour, starting with my jaw, one of my most insecure areas, just because your girl has a little bit of a double chin going on, but it's okay, we're working on it. You kind of create a chin strap, and I know it looks really weird right now, but trust me, when it blends out, it looks really good. So now I am just lining up where I want to contour it with and bringing it down. It did not say in the picture if they use cream contour or powder, but I just assumed cream because that seems to be the big thing right now, is using cream contours. So now I'm just going down my nose, which I thought, like, I have been contouring my nose all wrong according to this picture, because you're supposed to just put like a little bit on the outside of your nostrils and down the center and make it kind of round or pointy depending on how you want your nose to look. So I'm just going to blend that all out with a sponge as usual, and now taking Bella Baba from Benefit, one of my favorite blushes, and an angled brush, I'm just going to sweep this back. I should say this makeup is really applicable to round faces more than angular faces, but if you have an angular face and you do this, you will be looking cut and sharp, and you could cut somebody with your cheekbones. But yeah, I'm just sweeping back and kind of around to blend it out and really bring my face up. Now using my NYX bronzer in medium, I'm going to go around the hairline. I'm just using this little Clinique blush brush. I just found it works best with bronzer to blend out. It's a little bit too harsh for blush. Maybe not with the Clinique blushes, but I don't have any of those. So I'm just blending that out into my hairline to make my forehead look a little less large, because I think I have like a normal size forehead, but sometimes it looks really big. I don't know, it depends on my hair. So now just sweeping down the sides of my nose to darken up that contour, and of course under my bottom lip. You guys see me do this all the time. It just makes such a difference and make your lips look so big. So now I am just going down around my chin as well, kind of creating that 90-degree angle that everybody wants on their jawline. That, I don't know, boys always have that really good sharp jawline right there. And then I'm just going back into the hollows of my cheeks with the bronzer. I think it just intensifies it a little bit more and really gives you that naturally sun-kissed glow. It makes you look tan, even though it's like too cold for me to be tan right now. I'm not going on vacation anytime soon, so yeah, gotta fake it. And now taking Monster from ColourPop, I am just going to apply this to the tops of my cheeks like I normally would. And this is one of my favorite highlighters to use, especially for long wearing makeup, because it does not move and it gives you such a pretty glow. And just putting that on the tip of my nose and down the center a little bit, it comes out really light when you blend it, I promise, so you won't look crazy. And just patting that onto my chin and my cupid's bow to accentuate my lips, and put a little bit on my inner corners just to brighten up my eyes, even more so than I already have. So now using Mary Illuminizer, because I wanted this to be super highlighted and super glowy, I'm taking this flat blush brush from e.l.f. and just tapping some of that product on. And I'm using this very light-handed because if you use too much, this can make your pores look really big. And I'm just going to highlight underneath my brow with this as well, really lightly, and blending it out with my fingers. For my lips, I'm using NYX Lip Lingerie in Bedtime Flirt. I really like this liquid lipstick. It looks really pretty with this yellow and brown look. I'm just applying, I think, one coat, maybe two. It doesn't need a lot. It's a very opaque. Now just add some setting spray and that is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you next time. Bye.